the day's top stories and the forewarned forecast. This is News 4 at 4.
Well, take a look at this drone video from the Bellevue Fire Department showing a look from above. It shows serious flooding around several homes during yesterday's flash flooding. Take a look at that. Now, this was on Raleigh Road in Cheektowaga. Fire crews were called to help rescue people and save what they could from their homes. And Asher, I know the fire department also said that they were ready to evacuate at one point because it was getting worse. So it just shows how serious of a situation this really was.
It's extremely serious. Yeah, flooding is actually one of the most destructive natural disasters that there is. So it was a very serious situation throughout the day yesterday. Thankfully, seeing some big improvements through today, some much needed dry weather. But that water continues to run off in a few areas, and one spot it's running to is Tonawanda Creek. That has been on the rise throughout the course of today. We still have an active flood warning along Tonawanda Creek, and our creek gauge at Batavia continues to show it rising. I just updated this. The last observation that was reported from 3 o'clock is at 9.85 feet. That's in minor flood stage, very close to moderate flood stage at 10 feet. It is forecasted to rise into moderate flood stage barely, but it will start to recede as we head through this evening and especially overnight. And by tomorrow, really afternoon, should be good to go. So that's some good news. But over the next 12 hours or so, we have to watch that very closely. Radar has been fairly quiet. Satellite showing some puffier clouds in a few spots. Now, we're not completely out of the woods. We could see a few showers popping up, especially across the north towns and along the thruway corridor eastbound throughout this evening. But we're not expecting anything too widespread or anything terribly heavy for that matter. Shouldn't add too much to flooding concerns. So that's some good news. Generally, we can get by without the umbrellas for your Friday night. We will see increasing clouds as a weak area of low pressure moves through. That cloudiness will hold on into tomorrow morning, maybe a few spotty showers to start your day, especially south of the city, but increasing sunshine getting into the afternoon will actually be a very nice Saturday ahead. Temperatures right now running in the upper 70s along the Niagara frontier, mid 70s across the southern tier. Not quite as humid as the past couple of days, but still a little bit muggy for tonight. All in all, not too bad for your Friday night to start off your weekend. Coming up in your full forewarned forecast, we'll talk more about that weekend. We do have a little bit of wet weather on the way, and we'll time that out for you.
The stock was almost underwater, and yeah, water levels were high, dislodging a lot of debris.
Flash flooding made a mess across western New York yesterday. We are still seeing the effects on Buffalo's waterways today. News 4's Angela Cristoforo shows us the debris left behind. Angela?
Well, Christy, this region has seen a lot of rain this year. We already had a wet spring, and after yesterday's flash floods, debris has washed up along the shore, throwing a wrench in things for boaters. Wood, tree branches, and debris washed up along the shore of the Black Rock Channel following Thursday's flash floods.
It really ranges from like garbage to like sticks to like full-size trees. Pulling trees off our moorings and our floating docks, we really had it just took like 20 minutes out of our day where we had the kids couldn't go sailing.
Docks at the Buffalo Yacht Club are underwater, and the water isn't as blue as usual.
When the wind picks up, the water moves with it, pulling the debris, so it really gets this dark, muddy color to it.
The Buffalo Yacht Club director says the water level fluctuates on almost an hourly basis. Flash floods yesterday certainly didn't help.
Lake Erie is one of the shallowest Great Lakes, so water levels are really sensitive here in Lake Erie. So we get a lot of storm surges. Wind pushes the water up, water level rises.
The washed up trees and debris also pose a risk to boats.
That a lot of times these logs and debris, they're like neutrally buoyant, so they'll actually stay under the water, like the Titanic situation. So a lot of times you can only see a little bit of it, and then you'll try to surpass it, and then the boats will hit what's under the water and really put a damage on the boats.
Though there's a lot of it, the debris is expected to clear out on its own.
A lot of times we get like the east wind, which pushes all the debris out. So usually if we get a nice east breeze, pushes everything out, and then the wind or the current will take it away.
People at the Buffalo Yacht Club are hoping that the debris will clear out ahead of their regatta races next weekend. Live in the studio, Angela Cristoforo, News 4 at 4.
And wild weather is causing problems for people in the Midwest. This is what it looked like when thunderstorms tore through parts of Ohio overnight. You can see high school and several homes in inches of water. Heavy rain forced dozens of people to leave their homes. First responders had to use boats to rescue them.
It's flooded before, but nothing this severe. This is totally incredible.
We're going to pray that this is it. This is as high as it goes. Nobody else needs more water. It's done enough damage.
It is still raining in some places, and more rain is expected this weekend. Brides around the country are panicking after bridal store Alfred Angelo suddenly closed its doors. We told you that several locations in Western New York are closing. That includes the store's location on Niagara Falls Boulevard and in Greece. We talked to a few brides to get their reaction.
The news this morning that they were closed. I never got a phone call to come pick up my dress. I know other people were called yesterday by Alfred's to come pick up their dress. I did not get a phone call.
I'm disheartened by how I received the news and that there's no answers as far as where to go from here.
Wow. Well, coming up later on News 4, we'll hear from the president of the Buffalo Bridal Association about how they are working to help brides affected. Now, this is not just happening in Western New York. The company is closing all its stores in the country. Meg Oliver reports.
Customers of Alfred Angelo Bridal are being greeted with signs like this one. The company shut down stores nationwide Thursday. Brides and bridesmaids were contacted and told to get their dresses immediately.
They called and said that they're going out of business and pick it up by 6 o'clock.
Nicole Gross got her gown. The store didn't have Nancy Lofton's dress, but she was able to get a sample dress.
Along the same lines, minus the sleeves and minus the people trying it on, and I added 3 inches. So
many others walked away empty-handed.
I have a very tearful future daughter-in-law.
Cindy Neal tried to get her future daughter-in-law's dress and was told it's not ready.
Now there's a lot of anxiety and uncertainty.
Neal was told the dress would be shipped. Others heard the same thing.
I don't really know how we're supposed to get dresses if they don't even know where they are.
Alfred Angelo has more than 60 stores nationwide and is reportedly filing for bankruptcy. Its corporate offices in Florida are empty and our request for comment went unanswered. The company also supplies dresses to other bridal retailers. 2 businesses that we talked to say they cannot get a hold of anyone at Alfred Angelo and don't know what to tell their customers.
And I hope the people that did this realize what they're doing, because it's very, very sad what you did.
Many brides are left to wonder if they'll have a dress for their wedding. Meg Oliver, CBS News, New York.
I love aviation, so if I plant a seed in a girl's mind or a boy's mind, it's all good to me.
Women are paving the way for others in some of the most important roles at Mercy Flight of Western New York. We talked to women in positions from pilots to mechanics, and they hold those positions in a male-dominated field. News 4's Jen Sean spent the day with them. Jen?
Well, Christy, the work they do is impressive, and they do it when minutes and seconds are the difference between life and death. Today, I met Mercy Flight's only female aircraft technician and its only female pilot. I also met a female flight nurse who says, in general, there aren't enough women in the aviation field. It's something these 3 are working to change. Part of doing that is speaking to young people in the community and setting a precedent that this job is for everyone. Charisse Pinzoni actually started in TV. She worked as an editor, but opted to go back to school to learn about aircraft mechanics because she says she wanted another challenge. Despite her job being high stress at times, she says working on the Mercy Flight helicopters is actually calming for her. She gave us a peek at her average day. I asked her if being the only woman ever at Mercy Flight to hold a job was something that stuck in her mind.
I did. It is in the back of your mind. It's a little intimidating at first, but then it's exciting too, because it's, like I said, another challenge. And but they're all like big brothers to me. They're family, and we all get along.
Pinzoni isn't the only woman at Mercy Flight, though. She's joined by several female flight nurses, including Jennifer Crotty. She also works with Mercy Flight's only female pilot, Jeannie Susky. Hear from all 3 of these women coming up tonight at 6, how they feel their role could and should impact young boys and girls in the community, plus what aspect of their jobs they find the most fulfilling. All that ahead. For now, live in the studio, Jen Shantz, News 4 at 4.
Jen, great story. Thank you. Next to News 4 thousands of people are lining up for the annual Buffalo Subaru Chase. Hear who the race benefits after the break.
And while we've been enjoying some mostly dry weather for today, I am tracking a few isolated showers moving our way this evening. We'll time that out. Talk about your weekend forecast coming up.